Hi, my name is Ashish and welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into the cutting edge world of cybersecurity with Microsoft Azure's AI-powered identity threat detection. I'm going to show you really practical examples and simulations of how Azure AI detects and responds to identity-based cyber attacks in real time. If you want to protect your business or personal account from hackers, this video is a must watch. Let's get started. Alright, I'm logged on to the portal. So, first of all, what are identity-based threats? Identity-based threats happen when attackers try to steal or misuse your login credentials, like phishing, credential stuffing, or brute force attacks. These threats are the number one way hackers breaks into cloud accounts today, especially in platforms like Microsoft Azure. Now, how Azure AI protects you. Microsoft Azure uses powerful AI and machine learning to spot suspicious behavior before damage happens. It builds a profile of normal user activity and flag anything unusual. Right? So you need to be aware of Azure Entra ID dashboard and how you can utilize the risk detection features. And then you should be knowledgeable enough to navigate through the alerts like suspicious login from a new location or multiple failed login attempts. Okay, now first of all, to utilize this, you need to enable the Microsoft Entra ID protection, which helps organization detect, investigate, and remediate identity-based threats or risk. And these risks can be fed into the tools like conditional access to make access decision or sent to a security information or a SIM tool, which is Sentinel. It will Microsoft continuously adds and updates detections in the catalog to protect the organizations. It investigates any risk detected on an identity are tracked with reporting. Okay, and they also help in remediation of those risks. And they also have automatic remediations as well, which can be implemented through risk-based conditional access policies, which can be enabled to require access control such as providing a strong authentication method, perform multi-factor authentication, or perform a secure authentication method. And to deploy the Microsoft Entra ID protection, you need a Microsoft Entra tenant with Microsoft Entra ID P2 or a trial enabled. And then if you are an administrator who interacts with the ID protection, must have one or more role assignments. You should either be security reader, you should either have the global reader access. All right. And then make sure that you also have a test user who is not an administrator to verify policies are working as expected. And then you can, okay, let me log on to Entra ID first. To log on to Entra ID, type in Microsoft Entra ID, and then you will come into the default directory of your tenant. In here, you will have the overview, how many users you have. I have just created 3 users. All right. Now, how will you combine Azure AI? How will you combine Azure AD identity protection and Sentinel, right? To get the most out of, to implement the practical example or simulation of how the Azure AI detect and respond to identity threats in real time. To do this, you will have to, here's a more detailed breakdown, right? So breakdown, Azure AI is the broad suite of AI-powered services offered by Microsoft. It provides the foundation for many Azure services, including those related to security. When the Azure AI is enabled by default because it enables features like machine learning models for threat detection, risk assessment, and automated responses. Now, when it comes to Azure AD identity protection, this is a security service that focuses on protecting users and their credentials from identity-based threats. It uses AI-driven models to analyze user sign-in activity. Now, if I type in sign-in here, okay, like this, and if I go to sign-in logs, these are the sign-in logs for last 24 hours in which I have logged in, right? Now, if it was a risky sign-in, right, I would have got the risky sign-in as well. Now, if I export these data settings and I add a diagnostic setting here to have the sign-in logs to risky users and risky service principal, send it to the log analytics workspace. This is my workspace, right? It says in order to export sign-in data, your organization needs Azure AD P1 or a P2 license. If you don't have you can start a free trial. If you click on a start a free trial, if you're doing it in your lab, I'll do that later, but if you will save this setting. Now, Sentinel would give you a consolidated view of risky user activities and vulnerabilities, empowering security teams to take proactive action. Now, when you enable this data ingestion to the SIM solution, which is Sentinel, you can utilize the SOAR, the security orchestration, automation and response, because it will collect and analyze security data from various sources, including the Azure AD identity protections. And Sentinel uses AI and machine learning to detect threats, correlate events, and provide actionable insights. It will allow the teams to automate threat responses, investigate security incidents, and enhance their security operations. Now, how will they work together? Now, Azure AD Identity Protection identifies the risky sign-in end users. So if I type in risky sign-ins, right? So I don't want to do this now. So there are auto refresh. I'll do every 5 minutes. So there are no risky sign-ins. If I enable this setting as well and enable a diagnostic setting to have this, which is already enabled, right? So I have this setting enabled. Now Azure Sentinel will receive and analyze the risk detections, because Sentinel ingests data from identity protection along with other security data to gain a broader understanding of the threat landscape. Now Sentinel will use AI and machine learning to correlate events and detect threats. Sentinel will provide automated responses and investigation capabilities as well. And this happens in real time, because if you do the simulation of a credential stuffing attack, right, where bots try thousands of leaked passwords to break into your accounts, the Azure risky sign-ins or failed login attempts from a suspicious IP will come under the audit logs or alerts, right? Azure AI will correlate these attempts with known attack patterns, right? Now, Microsoft Sentinel will trigger an automated playbook after you have gathered all the accounts to log the accounts, to block the IPs and notify admins, all within few seconds, right? So this rapid detection and automated response stops the attack without any manual intervention, saving precious time and resources, right? And that is how Azure AI detects also the insider threats when an employee or an admin behaves maliciously or carelessly, right? We can have if you see the unusual access patterns to your sensitive files, right? Azure Identity Protection will calculate the risk scores and triggers multi-factor authentication or block accesses, right? Now, by continuously monitoring user behavior and access patterns, Azure AI can stop insider threats before they could cause any harm. Right. So if you found this video helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into AI and cloud security, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Please drop your questions in the comments. I'll be answering them. And if you want a step-by-step guide on setting up Azure Identity Protection or anything else, please let me know. I'll see how I can get the trial license or arrange a subscription to make a video on that. I hope this was informative for all of you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Have a good day.